times is captured in action, in movement, in stone. So all of that is very vividly clear from these sculptures. Next. Here it is, Dudadhari Krishna. Calm, quiet, peace. Whereas there was so much of commotion and agitation and action in the previous slide and in the previous caves, here in the Dudadhari Krishna's cave, the great cowherd Krishna is milking the divine cow, and a young calf is standing alongside. The mother is licking her newborn calf, and there is the gopi who is standing close by and wondering, this is not the Lord's own job, this is my work to do, to milk the cow. But then when the Lord does it, how can I help? So she is just a bystander, a looker on. Next. This is one of the Pallava princes, and there are inscriptions on top giving their names. Next. These are the Pallava princesses, queens and princesses and others. Next. And this is now Ellora, the great Kailash. In this particular scene, there is dramatic action. I told you perhaps when we were talking of architecture that Kailash happens to be one and the only such location anywhere where the entire temple complex consisting of a multitude of buildings and temples and halls and receptacles and pillars and caves and all sorts of things, all has been cut down from the top downwards. In this little alcove, there is the Shiva family. Shiva, Parvati, his other children, all of them are sitting and amusing themselves when underneath their throne, that is to say down below somewhere, there is the great Lord of Lanka, Ravana, doing penances, trying to attract the attention of the Lord Shiva and saying to him, "O Lord, come to my help and help me out, win against my enemies." He is doing all kinds of antics, all kinds of penances, and the Lord is paying him no attention. He is so busy with his family affairs. So he says, at least leave me some time to attend to my own children and my own wife. But then this Lankapati will not relent. And so, finding that the Lord is not attending to him, he moves the entire mountain Kailasha on which the Lord's family is there, and there is an earthquake. There is a movement. You can see a great deal of consternation and worry on the faces of all the members of the family of Shiva. But Shiva himself realizes and says, "Oh my God, I am paying no attention to my bhakta." And so he has moved this mountain and created an earthquake. He puts his foot down and stops the shaking of Kailash Parvat and attends to him. So lovely scene of Raman shaking Kailash Parvat in Ellora. Next, here are large corridors, and I alluded to this when I was talking to you about South Indian temples, that there were long corridors and there were hundreds and hundreds of pillars, beautiful pillars decorated by means of warriors, of fighters and kings and others, and then all kinds of scenes depicted on them, the painted ceilings, and hundreds of these pillars. 500 pillars, 1000 pillars, so on and so forth. Next. We are now, some say that these sculptures come from Bhubaneswar, others hold that they come from Khajuraho, but maybe whether it is Khajuraho or it is Bhubaneswar, about this, it is the same time, about the 11th century or so, and you have lovely figures of young ladies standing, relaxing in a beautifully flexed position. You can see the position. Just look at the way she is standing. under a tree, a flowering tree, and holding aloft a shishu, a child mother. Look at the motherly qualities, the tenderness on her face, in her eyes, in her visage, and this small little child. So, mother and child. Next, here it is a Sundari, a Manini Nayaka, a great damsel who is the most beautiful, she thinks, and we also agree with her, that yes, madam, you are the most beautiful. She is looking into a mirror and decorating herself. A lovely sculpture of a Sundari or a Yakshika or a musician or a dancer. Next, here it is a lady, again in the same position. Just look at the flexion of the body, how she is standing, turning and twisting, and she is now writing a letter on a stylus and a pen, and there are nakshikas, there are tender marks of love making that she had been doing with her lover, and all of this is so clearly and so beautifully and so tenderly brought out that there is nothing like this in Indian sculptural art. Next, we are now in front of the great Almighty Shiva, Natesha, Nataraj, dancing the Tandava Nritya, the Nritya of causation, creation, preservation, dissolution. I won't call it destruction. So, creation. He is standing, just look at the body, it is resting on one leg, the other leg is drawn across. There is tremendous movement. Such is the intensity of the movement of creation, preservation, destruction, or dissolution, that there is a wheel, an aureole of fire all around the dancing Nataraja. The right upper hand holds the kettle drum, in which he holds a damaru. Damad, 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 it creates, the sound is created. Sound signifies life. The creation of life is the department of Brahma. So, he is Brahma with that upper raised right hand. The lower right and the lower left are in his attitude of abhay, bestowing protection, preservation, and that is the department of Vishnu. So, creation, Brahma, preservation, Vishnu, and the fourth one is holding the all-consuming fire, dissolution. Creation, preservation, dissolution, recreation. This goes on and on and on and on. It has neither any beginning nor it has any end. Under his feet, there is a dwarf that is shown. He is the dwarf showing ugliness, darkness, andhakar, agyan, all of which is dispelled, is removed, coming to the feet of the Lord, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesha. Next, this is the last one that I want you to see. In this case, the aureole is not there, but you can very clearly see the drum on the upper right, then the lower right and the lower left in the abhay attitude, and the fourth one is holding the all-consuming fire. It is called Chatura Tandava. Both the legs are above the apasmara, the demon of ignorance, andhakar, darkness, and this. So, we have in Indian art of sculpture Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. Satyam, truth, is Sundaram, is Shivam is Shiv, and Shiv is Sundar. And so, that is the great, you might say, benediction or message given to us by our religious gods and goddesses and dharma. Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. Thank you so much.